Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just making this quick video because I wanted to give you an update, like where I'm at right now. I'm about to make a negotiation for developing some land, and I'm looking at purchasing a building that's sitting on somebody else's property. And in doing so, um, like I need to be ready to negotiate the price for this building, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of how I approach that before I go and talk to that person. So if you guys have not read, if you're in a position where you do negotiating or you see yourself doing some negotiating in the future, I recommend reading Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. It's fantastic. So Chris Voss was an FBI negotiator, and he negotiated a lot of deals for getting people hostages out of sticky situations. And so there's a few things going into this negotiation that I'm setting up beforehand so that I know how I'm going to handle them when I'm talking with the other party. And so the very first thing that he talks about is most people go into a negotiation and they want to establish a certain amount of rapport and gain like a certain amount of upper hand. And so most people go into a negotiation looking to get a bunch of yeses out of the other person so that the person is in a state of agreement with you. And what Chris says is counter to that. He says that like you think about those phone calls that we get from those pesky marketers, and they ask you these open-ended questions like, "Do you like water?" Well, yeah, and they repeat that, and we sometimes feel trapped. And so what we'll end the conversation by saying yes when we really mean no, and then that negotiation or that conversation ends with us squirting out the other side and leaving. So Chris actually says that we should go into a conversation and actually get the other party to say no first. The other thing that I'm doing is and nobody cares how much you know or any of that kind of business until they care how much you understand. So when you're going into a negotiation, it's really important to understand the other party's situation, their emotions, like where they're at. Like when it comes to health coaching, people talk about it like getting on their map, understanding where they're at, how they see the world. And so you can do that by asking how and what questions to get clear on where they're at and to understand their situation. And then from there, if you can get them to say, "That's right," that phrase is super important. Not "you're right," but "that's right." Then that means that you guys are on the same page. That means that they feel understood. And when they feel understood, they're a lot more likely to work with you in a positive way. If you appreciate this video, please hit the thumbs up button, share if you feel it's worthwhile, and subscribe if you are not already. All right, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about here is what I'm doing in order to prepare for this is there is something called the Ackerman Bargaining, and that's a certain process when you're negotiating a price. And what they say, what Chris recommends, or what Ackerman Bargaining is you set your target price. So let's say that your target price is $100,000 for something. You go in, the initial bid, the initial number that you give them is 65% of the original price. So if you were going to offer, if your goal was $100,000 for something that you're shooting for, if you're going to go in, you first offer 65,000. So it's 65% of the original price. The second number that you give is 85%. And so you work from 65% up to 85%. When you get into that 85% number, then what you're doing is you're moving in. Every single step is built for a specific reason. So the first step is 65%, then the next one is 85%. The next offer is 95%. So you see how like you started real low, you bumped up, and now every step, every increment that you're going up is just a little bit, it's less, it's getting smaller, it's getting tighter. So it goes 65%, 85%, 95%, and then if that's still declined, you go to your final target number. And to show the other party that you're like maxed out and that's all you can do, he recommends throwing in something that they probably don't want of non-monetary value to show that like that's it, you're tapped out, that's all you can do. So like if you were buying a house, and my thought, I'm thinking, well, I could probably get a crew to help do property after the building is gone. I can offer that as an additional bonus. And if they take that, then voila. And just one last thing is something else that he says is to use non-round numbers, like say, $97,849, because using numbers like that gives it weight, it gives it finality, it gives it heaviness. Um, so that's it in a nutshell, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of how I approach bargaining, and it's thanks to Chris Voss's book, How Never Split the Difference. All right, guys, hope you're doing great. We'll see you later. Please hit that thumbs up button if you appreciate this.